No, I'm a community health worker.
And that's close enough. I'm going to have you talk directly into your microphone, LaTrice.
Okay.
There you go. You're not nervous, are you?
A little bit, but we're good.
Why? There's nothing to be nervous about. It's just the three of us in here chatting.
Sure.
And then Archie Blunt. Archie, you are the Director of Community Outreach for Berrada Properties. How are you, sir?
I'm doing terrific. Thank you for having us today.
Oh, it's our pleasure to have you here. Do you think that Berrada Properties has a bad reputation in the city of Milwaukee, Archie? And if you believe that, why is it?
Well, I'm just like everybody else. I'm born and raised in Milwaukee. I've been here my whole life, and I see the same things that people saw and see on the news every day that comes on. So, yes, I do see the perception out there that the company is a bad company. However, there is not a lot of opportunities for myself and everybody in the company to always answer those calls when the news comes. The news will call me at like 1 p.m. and saying they're running a story at 4. That doesn't give me enough time to research what happened, to talk to our community, which is our tenants. So anything that we say is always twisted or edited in a way that it's going to put it in a negative light. They never talk about the conditions that the tenants create and our efforts to make the repairs. So everything that people have seen on the news that were a problem, we have taken care of very quickly, especially since I've been on staff. And I personally talk to the tenants. We're building a better rapport with the tenants. I'm someone that they can talk to when things get out of control. And we are effectively daily trying to work on our customer service approach.
And part of the reason why you are currently with Berrada Properties is to improve the relationship with not just the community, but also your tenants. And there's a lot of things that you guys are doing maybe behind the scenes that those same news outlets may not cover. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. For folks who may be unfamiliar, could you give like a rough estimate of how many properties is in the Berrada portfolio in the Milwaukee area? I think once people appreciate the size and scope of it, they may have a different understanding of exactly how many tenants and properties you guys actually have in the portfolio.
So as far as number of properties, I always look at how many units we have. So we own over close to 10,000 units. So we have a reach of 10,000 people, families that we affect who live in our buildings that we serve every day and provide them quality, affordable housing. And I think one of the things that gets lost in the media is we provide affordable housing. Nobody ever talks about the economics of our community. There's nobody coming in to provide the services that all of us see every day by living in a community. So I can never, well, I shouldn't say never, let me rephrase that. It becomes very difficult to fight that narrative. So the reason I was hired here is to try to provide services to our tenant base, to help them live better in Milwaukee, to bring them services that they need, because we're seeing what is happening daily to these families.
In those 10,000 units, you may have several people, if not entire families in those units. So while you have 10,000 units, it could be 30,000+ people, 40,000+ people that are currently renting or leasing a Berrada property.
That is very correct. And that's a lot of people. And when you talk about the scope of what is shown on television and on the newscast, if we have, 30,000 people and you see, 10 stories a year, the percentage-wise isn't that bad. However, everybody is important. Every situation is important. Every time there's a fire in a building, we have to see how we can handle these situations because these are families that are affected. These are mothers, fathers, children. These are our aunts and uncles that we are dealing with.
Speaking with Archie Blunt, he is the Director of Community Outreach for Berrada Properties, and also we are joined by LaTrice Luckett, who says she's nervous. You're a community healthcare worker, is that correct?
Yes.
You guys are involved in, I'd say this is a new initiative. So June is Tune Up Your Health with Berrada Properties. If people have questions about medications or health concerns, or if you need a medical exam, Berrada Properties has partnered with a city on the Hill to bring health clinics to our community. So this is a first for essentially property owners to partner with a health care organization to make sure that people who may be without health insurance can get necessary exams, screenings, etc. LaTrice, tell us your involvement with the program.
Yes. So as a community health worker, I kind of help organize and I do the education with one of our nurses. And sometimes we'll have a student or myself will do the different education classes. So every Tuesday, we will go to the Berrada property and we'll talk about bone health. We'll talk about cancer prevention. We'll talk about nutrition. We'll talk about the importance of exercise. We're going to severely focus on mental health as how we can help them to navigate those. What are the different aspects of mental health? Because it's not just about your mind. It's about stress. It's about, your physical life, about family matters, communication. All of those things we're going to touch on. We're going to do breast exams because that's important. We would not be doing male exams because we just don't have the capacity to do that, and that's something we want to make sure we have the privacy, to perform. And other than that, we're just going to make sure that we push the education and provide the services while we're there.
On Tuesdays in the month of June, starting June 4th, June 11th, 18th, and 25th, they're offering cancer screenings, doctor visits, blood pressure tests, and education on how to stay healthy. So, Archie, where will the screenings take place? Is it going to be at your facility on Dean Road, or are people actually going to a healthcare clinic?
So we will be doing this at 7600 West Dean Road. That's in Milwaukee. That's at the new Learning Center. We have a facility there. People can come there. They can feel secure. Their privacy will be taken care of. And I just want to hop back into one thing when we're talking about my position and what the company is trying to do. When I came aboard, I worked for the city for 14 years as a building inspector, and I saw a lot of different conditions. I did enforcement on properties, bad landlords, et cetera, et cetera. Now I'm on the other side of this coin, and I'm actually renting properties to people. What I was seeing when I was coming out here was a lot of families who did not have health insurance. A lot of people dying because they had high blood pressure and nobody ever checked it. They're not getting not checking for diabetes. Our community, a lot of folks just don't have health care. Mm-hmm. So the reason I'm doing this and the company that's doing this is we want to provide services to our community, to our tenants. I call it the Berrada community. And people outside of the properties can come. But I think it's very important that these services are brought to the people. A lot of times we stand on the sidelines and we complain about what we don't have and what resources are not available. So here's an opportunity to get past what your perception and what you heard to actually come and see things up close and personal, starting with these health clinics on Tuesdays in June.
On Tuesdays in June, June 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th, they're offering cancer screenings, doctor visits, blood pressure tests, and education on how to stay healthy. You can join and be eligible for a free gift. Refreshments will be served, and bus tickets will be given as needed. So you guys are addressing any transportation issues. You can call LaTrice Luckett. I'm going to give her phone number out at 414-931-6670. That's 414-931-6670. Or they can call you, Archie, 414-386-8304, 414-386-8304 to sign up. Space is limited. So you guys are doing this in the month of June. So then let's say this is very successful and you have not just tenants, but people in the surrounding area that want to take advantage of these health screening opportunities. What happens in July? What happens in August? Or is this just like to see how it goes and potentially offer it in the future? Or is it just the month of June?
Well, we're open. We're open to do it again as far as the partnership goes, because for a city on a hill, a part of our mission is to prevent poverty. A part of our mission is to make sure that we're providing the service so that no child has lack of any sort. And we want to make sure that our families and the city that surrounds us has everything that they need to thrive. And so I wanted to point that out because some of the things that Berrada, their initiatives, we can get behind those because it supports the vision and the mission that we also have. So in the future, if something comes up it would have to be for the whole month. And so I want to make sure that the community that we're serving understand that we're putting ourselves out there. So we're expecting them to meet us there. We need them to come all 4 sessions. And we want to make sure that when we give them a gift, we're giving them a certificate. So it's something that they can learn and they can go and teach their families. And so whatever the future may hold, we're open to that. It will have to be in August or September moving forward.
Arch, can you tell folks about I guess we can still call it brand new, the Berrada Learning Center on 76 and Dean Road. So this is a facility open to members of the community and tenants of Berrada. Talk about some of the things that you guys are going to be doing with that learning center. I know you guys got a bunch of plans for it.
Yeah, it's a very exciting initiative, especially to be taken on by a landlord. Most people see the landlords as collecting money and not doing anything for the community. So our learning center is an opportunity for us to teach landlord-tenant laws. One of the things I saw working for the city, working in the media, and now coming back here for Berrada Property is we're not talking about facts when things happen. People are talking about what they think. And we have specific laws that not only protect the tenants, but they protect the landlords too. So we will be having classes there for tenants to come in and get landlord-tenant training. In addition to that, last summer we did a mentorship program with students, and we had them come in and learn about the rental business. They learned electrical, some plumbing, some construction. It was a paid, like almost internship, but we did that. We also had our Berrada Scholars Program, and these are all things that came from the Learning Center. But the Berrada Scholar Program was for our tenants who had children, and they obtained a 3-point or above, and they had 90% attendance rate. We gave them two $5,000 scholarships to two people, and then we had 10 $1,000 scholarships we gave out a raffle. With that, each person who participated received a free laptop, a brand new laptop. So there's a lot of different things that we will be doing from the Learning Center. I send out thousands of text messages to the constituents, and one of the problems is I don't have people signing up for these events. So if people don't come, we can't continue to try to do these things. The more people that come, the more resources we can put into these initiatives, and I think it's better for everybody.
LaTrice, I'm going to give you a telephone number out if folks are interested in attending these health screenings are going to take place on Tuesdays in June. You can call LaTrice at 414-931-6670, 414-931-6670. Arch, I'm going to give your number out, too, even though people may call you for a whole bunch of stuff. Well, they already call you for a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, let's do this. I want them to have my number, and they call me when there's real deep problems. However.
The however part.
Honestly, they've been calling me.
Yeah, I've been getting them, too. But for this initiative here, I just want us at this time to focus on getting people into these clinics. You can call me about other stuff, but when you call, leave your name, your number, and we will get you signed up. We have limited space, but I want to ensure that in the month of June, anybody who wants to come to these clinics, they are coming. If you call me about something else, I will get back to you. Definitely get back to you. I've helped a lot of our tenants, but for what we're doing today, please call for the clinics.
Might as well give your number out, Arch.
My number is 414-386-8304. If you are calling me and you live in our properties about a problem, please leave your name, your number, and the property which you are living in, and I will definitely look into your issue.
The health clinics will be at the Berrada Learning Center at 7600 West Dean Road from 2 p.m. until 3 p.m. each Tuesday in June. So one more thing I got to ask you, Arch, before you go. What if you got two tenants, live next door to each other, hate each other, always complain, they just don't like each other? Like, how, as the property management team, like, how do you deal with tenants that just, because nobody is moving out, right? Nobody is leaving. They're long-term tenants, but they just don't like each other. How do you mediate those kind of disputes? Because I'd imagine you probably have a lot of that. Somebody works third shift. The other person wants to play their music loud. This other kind of these disagreements that tenants can have. You got to take that stuff seriously because tenants will fight each other.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
So
Not
what
only
do you
fight,
do to
but
mediate?
do bodily harm in other ways, too. it is very important to try to mediate those situations. Typically, when I get those calls, I try to talk to both parties involved in that, and I try to hear both sides. Then I cross back and talk to both of those people. I think that one thing that the public and the people listening to this is a landlord's only power is to evict people. An eviction typically is going to take me 3 months to get through the whole process. And for an eviction to be legal, it has to go through the court system, and then a judge has to verify that it was just. So I get a lot of calls when I talk about explaining the truth to people, the facts. That is what I'm getting at. Somebody says, well, why don't you just kick this person out tomorrow because they're keeping up loud noises? Well, the lease is a legal contract. So we do the best that we can. I tell my tenants all the time, sometimes as men and women, we got to agree to disagree, but just know if we can agree to disagree and disagree on the facts or talk about the facts, we can get to a better solution.
Mr. Archie Blunt, he is the Director of Community Outreach for Berrada Properties, and LaTrice Luckett, a community healthcare worker. They're embarking on a new mission, partnering with City on a Hill and providing health screenings at the Learning Center, the Berrada Learning Center at 7600 West Dean Road, every Tuesday in the month of June between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. Well, good luck to you guys, and let us know how it goes. And it's been great chatting with you. LaTrice, was this bad? It wasn't bad.
No, it was great. I thought I would be talking more, but he talked a little more.
We were effective because I think people want to hear from Arch. They want to hear from you as well, but this Arch is the one that they want.
Yeah, hopefully we can come back and we can talk about other things, but I think this is an excellent start, being on the truth.
There you go. Thank you guys for both being here. Right now, I'm going to take a break. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.